Hi, everyone. It's Henry DeVries from Indie Books International, and I'm so pleased today to have our author, General Jeff Foley, with us today. Jeff, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Henry. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much. Please share your journey as an author.
Well, first of all, Henry, I'm retired from the Army after 32 years, and I knew what I wanted to do in the second half of my life was become a leadership coach and consultant. That is what I most enjoyed about my experience in the Army. And in being able to give back, I knew I had to work and discover and put a toolkit together that would help me become competent and confident in my own role as a coach for executives and business leaders. I had a great opportunity in 2013 to get published in a book, Rules and Tools for Leaders, by the co-author of that book, Major General Perry Smith. We published it out of Penguin in New York. It was a great experience for me. It took me about a year for Perry and I to update that book, and it was a wonderful opportunity for me. Over the course of the next 3 or 4 years, to help me in my coaching and consulting practice, I developed partnerships with a handful of other world-class leadership training and organizations. The first was Marshall Goldsmith. He is the #1 executive coach in America. Ken Blanchard in situational leadership, the most taught leadership model in the world, and I learned that as a major in the United States Army. Patrick Lencioni wrote 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, mandatory reading for us in the Army. I'm a partner with Pat and the Table Group. What was very interesting was all of these partnerships had one real goal in mind, and that is they help leaders at all levels become more competent and confident in their role to achieve positive and lasting change in their own behavior and how to build high-performing teams. And when I thought about all of that, because those became part and parcel to my coaching and consulting practice, I thought back and reflected on, what about me? What did I learn? What was my methodology, and how did I take advantage of the opportunities that the Army gave me? And then I met Henry DeVries. Henry, and I met you at a seminar that we listened to, and it was, what about another book that can help capture and bring out what I learned? And I could present my own methodology that really incorporates what Marshall and Patrick and Ken Blanchard and all these marvelous people in my life could do. And that's when I said, it's time for me to write another book. And I spent 2.5 years with Coach Henry, a little longer than what he likes authors to do, but the point was I had to get it right in my own mind. And with the marvelous personalized attention that Henry gave me, I was able to craft my book, Brave Business Leadership. And it took 2.5 years, and it was a marvelous journey for me in just writing the book. And it now has become another fundamental marketing tool and tool to help guys and gals in leadership levels, from Fortune 100 company executives down to small business owners. It is helping them grow competence and confidence in their role as leaders.
So let's talk about that first book, Penguin, right? How much support do you get from a big New York publisher?
Well, I was very proud to be published by Penguin, and very proud to have General Perry Smith is the invite, and he's been a mentor of mine for a long time. But after that initial conversation and after they published the book, I heard nothing from them. That was the interesting thing. All the marketing, whatever was going to happen on the sale of that book was up to General Perry Smith and I. I don't think they did anything. The funding strategy was a little different, but the point was I never heard from them again, never did anything from them again. We were on our own. And when I talked to you, yeah, so that was all the fascinating thing, because when you shared with me how you do things, it was not just a partnership and a coaching and a helping write and craft and publishing this book. That's really the start. That's like step one. And you've shared with me before that that's really the easy part. The hard part is now what? And what I have really learned from Henry, you and the Indy family is what happens afterwards. This book came out in the fall of last year. It's been almost a year. And I am still engaged. I am still getting marvelous coaching and leadership and advice on how to market the book, how to get videos done, how to set up websites, how to do small group seminars, all the other experience and the wealth of experience that you in the Indy team brings to help me. I'm fascinated by that. And I believe I've got a great team on my side, and I look forward to our continued journey. But that's what I'm really, really excited about, publishing my second book with Indy Publishing.
Well, thanks, Jeff. You mentioned the Indy family. Well, that's what we call our authors who are engaged, and our authors who are authors and speakers helping authors and speakers.
Right.
So we get together at our annual forum, we get together on our retreats. One of my catchphrases is, the book is the starting line, not the finish line. Another one of my catchphrases is, the book is the #1 marketing tool, speaking is the #1 marketing strategy. We met really through a podcast. I did a podcast, and you were on there, and that led to you attending my small scale seminar. And you know, yes, it took a little longer, but I'd never quit you on that.
Right.
Everything was for a reason. There are excuses and there are reasons. You had reasons that you were going to make this not perfect. We weren't falling into the perfect trap, perfection trap. We were going for extraordinary, and you and I would not settle for less on that book. And quality shows, and that's really helped. I know other family members have helped you, and you've helped other family members, and we certainly appreciate that. Thank you for that, Jeff.
Well, it's been a great journey, and I hoped that when I published the book, business would flow, and I would be overwhelmed with multi-million-dollar opportunities. That hasn't happened because there's much more work to do once you publish the book, and that's why I value you and all your help and guidance to do that.
We had a little hiccup called COVID-19 and a worldwide pandemic. I know you had big speaking engagements planned, and they've put those on pause, and we have to figure out other ways now to get on there, like podcasts. So we're working with you and others on, okay, what podcasts could you get on? You're in Georgia. You don't have to leave Georgia to be on the podcast. The podcast is a gift that keeps giving, because people will hear that years later and connect with you and can find you because you're leaving clues. So good job on that. Well, I want to thank you for your time today, and you're sharing advice to future authors. I know that's appreciated. And I look forward to when you and I can be together again and go to another baseball game.
I look forward to that too, Henry. Thank you again.
My best to your family, and we'll talk again, Jeff. Thank you. Bye-bye.